Today's lesson is creating symmetric figures. Why are we doing this? Well, we need to be able to determine how many lines of symmetry are in different shapes from time to time. So this would be one of our goals. We can also use in life. Let's say that you want to become a decorator or even decorating your own house or your bedroom. You're going to want some things to be symmetrical. Maybe you decide you want to be an architect or in architecture itself. In artwork, we use symmetry a lot. If you owned a store and you wanted to set up your store, so you want to think about what that might look like. And there are lots of other applications as well. So how are we going to do this, you might ask? Well, there's a few different ways. We're going to be using grid paper as one example, mirrors, windows, paper folding. So let's get started. To be or not to be symmetrical. So what I'd like you to do first of all is take a look at this picture here on the left, and you'll notice that there is this line that's drawn down the middle. Now, if we were able to take this piece of paper and fold it on that line, this side of the picture would line up exactly with this side of the picture. That means this circle would be in the same spot as this circle. This nose area, we have half on this side, half on the other. Same thing with the mouth. And same thing with the hat. So again, this shape would be symmetrical and it would have one line of symmetry right down the center. Now, if we take a look here at the right, we have a little table here, symmetrical, non-symmetrical. So if we look at this side, we have a circle, we have a triangle, we have a rectangle. All three of these shapes I could draw lines of symmetry or fold that shape on a line and it would line up exactly in the same spot. So a circle, for example, has many lines of symmetry that we could fold the circle on lots of different lines and we would be able to line that up exactly on the fold. A triangle, for example, for this one, we could fold this triangle right here on that line, and that triangle should line up. Now, if I tried to draw a line this way, that one doesn't work. It would not fold, well, you could fold it on that line, but it wouldn't line up. So we want to get rid of those. And then we want to take a look at the turquoise rectangle. So with this rectangle, I could write down the center, and you're going to pretend that's in the center. But if we fold on that line, that rectangle would have a line of symmetry going that direction. It would also have a line of symmetry going this direction. If we folded up, those ends should meet and match and line up. Now, the reason that we have these shapes over here in the non-symmetrical area is because we can't really draw a line down this direction because that shape would not line up. If we drew a line going across this way, it also would not line up. You would have a corner over here or a corner over here, and it wouldn't match this corner exactly. And then, of course, this last one, also non-symmetrical. So let's take a look and do some practice a little bit here. Of course, our objective is to try to sketch some polygons that are reflectively symmetric as we take a look at the directions up here at the top. Draw lines of symmetry for each shape. And so if we take a look at some examples here, we have a star. And all of these lines are lines of symmetry for this particular star. So if we were able to pick up that star and fold on each one of those lines, then this whole side would line up with that side. And so for each of those folds, that's what should happen. We take a look at this shape. We have one line of symmetry because of this arrow that's inside the shape. If this arrow were not there, we would have probably more than one line of symmetry. The circle here, because of the rectangle, we only have two lines of symmetry. And this shape, having circles and being the shape that it is, it's only got one line of symmetry. So we talked about, or I should say I talked about, using graph paper to kind of help you make your own symmetrical figures. And these are some examples of how you might do that. So if we take a look at this first one, you'll notice that they have given us the part of the drawing on the right side. So what you would do is try to mimic that on the left side of that dotted line. So you would come across, you would go down, you would go out, you would go down again. And because of my tools on the program that I'm using, you won't be able to see those lines because my tools are in the way. But you would continue the drawing, and I can kind of make that appear at the bottom at least, I think. Nope, see, that would not be in the right place, would it? So we would have to fix that. Still not in the right place, but you kind of get the idea that you would kind of have to play around with this. I see what I did wrong now. I need to go over to that first box and then up, which hopefully you could do a better line than I just did. But you kind of get the gist of what you would be doing here. So if we take a look at the middle shape, I would go over, down, in, and then I would go all the way out to this side. And then what you would have to do is flip that. That's going to be the hard part here. So we would go to here, I think. I get this bottom part. It's hard to look at upside down. I believe it's going to go like that. And then, of course, you would try the same thing with the last figure as well, which seems a little bit more complicated. Let's see how my skills are here, which I'm not feeling too confident at the moment. Let's see. That goes all the way up to the top. And as you can see, this does take some practice. And then you would try to duplicate that at the top and the bottom there. So this just gives you some ideas of some different ways that you can create symmetrical designs and drawings. And then we have some other sample pictures here on the right side showing that this particular shape has one line of symmetry. This one here would have two. One going this way, one going this way, and then our three-dimensional, looks like a multiplication symbol, has four lines of symmetry. So you can kind of see all the different directions that that would go there. So let's summarize what we've talked about today. Shapes can be symmetrical, meaning the same on both sides of a line. Some shapes have no lines of symmetry, which we saw at the beginning, while others can have many. A circle would be one of those. There are different ways to create symmetrical figures. We can use mirrors, windows, paper folding, and I didn't talk much about windows, but what you can do is take a drawing that you've got on one side, kind of fold your paper in half, and put it against a window, and you can kind of trace that other side. And then, of course, mirrors, which it takes a certain kind of mirror that we don't have to use virtually, but in class we have mirrors that can also be used to create symmetrical drawings as well. So who's in for making some symmetrical shapes? Until next time.